everyone, welcome to this free video drum lesson from drumstheword.com. This is part of my little treat to you guys for Christmas. I asked on Facebook what beats, fills, songs would you be interested in learning, just as a Christmas treat really, and this was one of them on the list, Elephant by Them Crooked Vultures. Got to admit, I like this song a lot because it features Dave Grohl, of course. So in this lesson I'm going to show you the main verse drum beat that occurs around 1:05 and then also a really cool drum fill. You heard me play it at the beginning of this video. Before we get on to the actual lesson itself, you can subscribe to me from my YouTube page and my Drums the Word Facebook page. Just type in Drums the Word into YouTube and Facebook and you'll find me. Also make sure that you download the free notation for this lesson. I've created a PDF page containing this beat and this drum fill for you to download and print out, so have it in front of you while we're going through the lesson. You'll find a link beneath this video. Alright, let's crack on. Okay, let's take a look at this drum beat that occurs at 1:05 into the song. It's the main verse drum beat, the one that goes with the riff, where the whole band slows down. You know which beat I'm talking about. And when you first listen to it on the recording, it's not obvious how Dave plays it. When you see him play it live, it becomes a bit more obvious. But if you just listen to the recording, especially myself when I was listening to it, I was wondering, how on earth is he playing this? His hands are crossing over all over the place. But I'm going to show you how he actually plays it. But first of all, we're going to simplify it. Take out the bass drum for now and just worry about what the hands are doing, because that's probably the hardest part to work on. So the groove with the hands doesn't start on beat one, it starts on the and of one. And what Dave is doing is he's playing the open hi-hat on the and of each beat with his left hand. It's kind of like an open drum beat kind of groove. Left hand remains open up here on the hi-hat to play the open hi-hats on the ands, and his right hand is playing the toms, and both hands can come down to the snare drum to play the flammed snare drum backbeat on beats 2 and 4. So we open the hi-hat on the and of beat 1 with the floor tom, and it closes into a snare drum. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and then back up to the hi-hat on the and of 2 and the floor tom on the and of 2 at the same time, and then without the bass drum foot that comes on beat 3, which we'll get onto in a second, we then go to the and of beat 3 and hit floor tom and hi-hat open again, and into another flam on 4, and then instead of playing the floor tom with the open hi-hat on the and of 4, what Dave does is he plays 2 16th notes, starting with the open hi-hat on the and, up here on the high tom, but he plays a second 16th note with the right hand straight away afterwards on the of beat 4, the very last 16th note to that beat. So we get 4 and 4 and then the hi-hat closes on beat 1 of the next bar, and 1, and 1, and 1. So slowly that whole bar without the bass drum foot sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and That's quite difficult as it is, because you're having to think about the hi-hat foot opening closing precisely on the and close, otherwise it sounds sloppy. And then playing the right-handed up here does feel very awkward when you're playing your left hand up on the hi-hat. It doesn't feel natural. You want to play the right hand on the hi-hat, but it allows you for your right hand to get round to the different toms if you play it open-handed the way Dave does it. Let's try it up to speed now without the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, now we're going to try and put the bass drum foot in. So the bass drum's actually relatively simple, and the simplest way to play it would be to play the bass drum on beat 1 and the and of beat 1, beat 3 and the and of beat 3, and to leave out the bass drum foot on the E of 4 if you're finding it too tricky. Okay, final stage, the way Dave actually plays it is to play an extra bass drum note on the E of beat 4. So after the flam on 4 played with the 2 hands on the snare drum, we play a bass drum note on its own on the E straight afterwards, 4E, and then we get the and bits. So 4E and 4E and 4E and let me try and play it slowly for you, and in context it should make a bit more sense hopefully. Try it really slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and a bit faster now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and sort of up to speed. 2, 3, 4, 1. And And as you can hear, I'm a little bit dodgy on this myself. I'm having to use my opposite feet to record this video for you. I'm actually left-footed, so this is really hard for me to replicate using the correct feet. So forgive the sloppy mistakes there. All right, next, let's look at a really cool drum fill that occurs around 1 minute 21 into the song next. So throughout the verses, Dave throws in all these little cool licks, these little cool drum fills he likes to do. Hand-foot combinations usually between flams on the snare drum and bass drum foot. And there's one in particular which caught my attention. The bar starts with the drum fill in it at around 121. So the drum fill's around 124 into the song, but you can't be 100% accurate on those time figures. And the bar starts the same as the groove. So we get 1 and 2, 1 and 2. But then we get straight into these bass drums falling on the E and the of each beat, up until beat 4, which we'll get onto in a second. So just from beat 2, we get 2 E and 3 E and So it's flam, foot, both foot, flam, foot, both foot. So up until that point, from the beginning of the bar, we get 1 and 2 E and 3 E and Even slower, 1 and 2 E and 3 E and And then we start this really cool 30-second note drum fill around the drums. Now, I had to really listen to this carefully and work out how Dave plays it. He plays 30-second notes, so there's 8 evenly spaced notes in beat 4, and we can count 2 30-second notes per 16th note. So if we're counting 4 E and we can play 2 notes per 16th counted, 4 E and I always find that difficult to do. 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 notes. He plays the first 2 notes on the snare drum, and then awesomely he plays the next 2 30-second notes on the bass drum using his single foot. Like a quad idea. I'm going to use my other foot for this bit. The remaining 4 notes get played between the high tom and floor tom. 2 here, 2 here. So the lick slowly is actually into a crash. That's the lick, and it's pretty awesome. You must admit, it does sound wicked, doesn't it? When played smoothly. Now, most drummers out there, I imagine, would struggle with the tempo of that, especially with the bass drum foot playing those 2 notes. So you could use double bass drum. But with the hi-hat foot being part of the groove, it means you have to get your foot swapped over back to the other foot, and it can get a little bit complicated. The other way you can do it is just have it all played as single notes with the hands. So you play, instead of playing the 2 bass drum notes on the E of beat 4, I don't know, you could split those 8 notes up a different way. Say 2 on the snare, 2 on the high tom, and then the remaining 4 on the floor tom. That's it, got it in the end. So there's different ways you can play it. I like to try and play the way Dave plays it, but I'll understand, I'm sure a lot of other people will understand if you can't play those bass drum foot notes quick enough. Anyway, enough waffling, let's play it in context. Nice and slowly, sounds like this. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Even slower. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Try a little bit faster now. 1 and 2 E and 3 E and That's sort of up to speed, isn't it? So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Oh, let me try my other foot. I can't, can I? Because I've got to flip my feet round and use the hi-hat. Difficult for me to replicate this using my other foot, so apologies for the sloppiness. You get the point. There you go. That's the way he plays it anyway, so you can choose to play it your own way. So I hope you found that interesting and useful. Again, remember to download the free notation that came with this drum lesson. If you enjoyed the lesson, please share and like it with your friends on Facebook, on YouTube. Just press the share button, embed it in your website, like it on Facebook, tweet about it. I really appreciate all the spreading of the words, help get this video out there. Check out my Drum Masters video song pack if you haven't. It's on sale at the moment for this Christmas 2012. So check it out. There's a link beneath this video if you want to get hundreds of video lessons and charts and books. Basically the drumstheword.com flagship product I'm very proud of. So I'll see you around. If I don't see you before, Merry Christmas, happy drumming.